All right. So, welcome back to Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. I'm that other dude, Andrew, and I'm joined by Heather.
Hello.
And yes, if you thought there was something different about me, then yes, I'm wearing a stovepipe hat. I thought I would change it up a little bit, but that will take nothing away from the incredible insight. In fact, it might help. I might be more prone to noticing new things.
It's always good to change up your look,
I
every
feel like
now and then.
Yeah, I mean, whether or not stovepipe hats become fashionable again, and I'm leading the charge, I mean, that remains to be seen. But
Yeah.
either way, so today, I believe this is episode number 72, and there were two bands we were going to discuss, Hauch and Spaceslug.
Yes.
So I thought we could, since I've changed things up, I thought typically we talk about the band that had been in the crosshairs, so to speak, of the show, and then we go to the one that either someone had submitted or has asked us to review. So today I thought we'd flip it, and we could start with Hauch and then go to Spaceslug.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, I hear
so
sirens.
yes, I apologize for that. I hope
Sirens are
I hope they're not after me
going off.
for
I,
whatever
I,
reason.
I'm waiting for that door behind you. I'm waiting for it to burst open and
Yeah, it's funny because my when I FaceTime with my uncle in the mornings, he always comments about that door. Who's in there? He always imagines like it's at any moment like a swamp thing is gonna just burst through or
you got to get some like fingers to put like around the door so it looks like there's, fingers coming,
yeah,
you know.
I should do something. I
Yeah.
mean, I should have somebody open the door one day, but then I feel like he'll have a heart attack, and then that's not you know
No, that wouldn't be good.
no
But maybe
fingers. I think
maybe
fingers
like
is
the fingers. Yeah. Yeah.
well. I had a someone. I think I bought it. It was a leg like with a foot, so you could do a similar. So it would look like you could put it underneath like a car, like the close of a car door, so it looked like they closed the door on your leg.
Yeah.
And then I don't know how, I think I was in seventh grade, so this could have been like 1991. And my math teacher, Dr. Abernathy, told us that he had lost his toe in a bike accident when he was a child. So I think I remember telling someone well, I have a fake foot, and I don't know how, but I ended up cutting off the toe, and then we gave it to him as like a, a commemorative thing. Yeah, that was good times.
How did he take that?
I mean, I think he was touched by the gesture.
Uh-huh.
I mean, as soon as I said it just now, I was like, yeah, maybe that's not the best story for the show. But
Well, I guess if it was, if
I
he
mean, it
felt
was meant it was meant as
sincere.
like a
Yeah.
gesture of goodwill. It certainly
Yeah.
wasn't, and that's how he took it. So
Yeah.
I think it was in his office. I think he kept it on his desk. It was like a plastic toe. It was very, very, yeah. The things you remember. I don't
Yeah.
necessarily remember the quadratic equation that I learned in that class, but I remember that Dr. Abernathy got a toe.
Yeah, and I can't even remember what I wore yesterday. So,
Yeah. Well, that's how my brain works. For those of you out there, if you haven't gotten the gist already, that I remember a lot of things. It's like
yeah.
it's a steel trap up there. Not always the most helpful, but interesting.
Yeah.
Sometimes interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Hauk are from Waltrop, Germany, Waltrop, which is an area spelled Ruhr, which I believe in German is pronounced uh, Wugebiet, I think, unless I press the wrong pronounce button on whatever it was, Wikipedia perhaps. But they started in the spring of 2020, so right when COVID began, basically. They describe themselves as four headstrong guys from Eastern Wugebiet playing highly energetic galactic stoner rock with German lyrics. Deep, atmospheric, melodic, thoughtful, lyrical, groovy songs for stoner, banger, dancer, and DJs.
I like that description.
Yeah, because I feel like by their estimation, it's a pie chart of four slices. You're either a banger, a stoner, a dancer, or a DJ.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, perhaps you fall into more than one category.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I at one point I went by the moniker of DJ Scratch and Sniff when I was in the group The Artificial Implants, and I don't think you ever. It's sort of like Walter in The Big Lebowski. He says you don't just stop being Jewish; you don't turn in your like library card, so you don't
Right.
ever really stop being a DJ. So
That's good to know. That's
yeah.
good to know. Yeah.
So anyway, did you have any thoughts about Hauch?
Yeah, I thought they were stoner rock with a great groove. Like that kind of falls into that, groovy dancing category. Lots of fuzz and distortion. I picked up that they sing in German. I thought the music was upbeat. If I was flipping through the channels on the radio and I heard one of their songs come on, I would definitely stop and listen to it and check it out because it definitely would catch my attention. I checked out their YouTube channel and they have a few of their videos, their songs, as videos, and they're kind of pretty neat videos. So I think we should all go and we should subscribe to their YouTube channel. And I also noticed that they have a CD for sale on Bandcamp. So I think definitely go and pick that up too.
That sounds good. So hit pause, go subscribe to their YouTube channel now, come
Yeah,
back, and then resume watching our show.
yeah.
But yeah, I think so. During the height of COVID, uh, at one point I was recording an episode of A Fistful of Faceful a day, and I was just scouring for any music. And I think I promoted one of their songs before they had released an album. I think I had just found them. So I think that's how they need, like, because they messaged me on Instagram and said, "We've got an album coming out. If you want to check it out, it'll be on Bandcamp." Um, so I think that's how. So yeah, I will respond, and Heather will respond if you're a band or musician and you hit us up with music to listen to. It's like ringing Pavlov's bell. We will check it out.
Yeah, and if for some reason either one of us misses it, like if you send us something and for some reason we miss it, please let us know because we always are open to listening to things that are sent to us.
Yeah, we like to. I like to spelunk on YouTube for hours on end and just find new stuff. And Heather's always been very open about whatever she listens to, and together we are quite the dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I was a little not disappointed, but like so. Uh, my girlfriend for most of college, her parents were from Germany and the Czech Republic, so she spoke German at home, and she taught me a few phrases. So I was hoping I would understand some of the lyrics. I didn't, because they didn't say phrases like "the windows are dirty," which is one I know. "Das Fenster ist schmutzig." Um, they also, believe it or not, didn't include the Haribo Gummy Bear theme song, um, which. So, gentlemen, if you're out there in Hauch and you want to record a metal version of the Haribo Gummy Bear theme song, and for prosperity, I still remember it. It's Haribo macht Kinder froh und Erwachsene ebenso. And that means Haribos make children happy and adults too.
Ah.
Now, yes. Now, if you ask me, how to properly file a tax return, forget it. Nothing. How to change a diaper, never. But if you want to know the Gummy Bear theme song in another language, that I'll never forget for the rest of my life. So.
Well, we all have our different strengths.
Yes, and I appreciate you referring to it as a strength.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yes. Well, no, I appreciate that, because other people might not be so kind with the description. But anyway, yeah, check out Hauch. Like Heather said, there's like uh, a fun groove to their music. Not that stoner rock can be a downer a lot of the time, but this one does. Like, I don't drive, but if I were driving, I would be blasting this from my car radio. That's, even, and then people would be looking at me because the lyrics are in German, so no one would understand anything, and I would just keep nodding along, as I'm driving. That's my drive. Oh, well, actually, probably be this with my left, because I'd want my right hand to be free. So it's been
Oh
a
no,
while.
that's not the proper way. It has to be at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock.
Right. So, okay. Yeah. I
That's what
guess
we learned.
if it was my right hand, then my left hand could be out the window and I could be drumming along on the side. But that's not proper technique, kids.
No, that's not proper. That's what you'll learn when you take driver's education.
Yes, which I did. I did take driver's ed, and I did get my license at 17. But it's been a very long time since I've actually driven. So,
Yeah, yeah.
all right. So that was Hauch. Was there anything else you wanted to? I think they only have the one album released, so be sure to get on Bandcamp. Um, and then next up was Spaceslug. And they are from, I want to pronounce it correctly, Wroclaw, Poland, Wroclaw. And the of all the Bandcamp tags they had, my personal favorite was Stoner Doom Space Rock. And I thought, okay, that's a perfect description. So, what are your thoughts on Spaceslug?
Well, Spaceslug, I think defies it defies categorization. I saw a comment on Bandcamp that I thought was really perfect, and it said, "Spaceslug's albums take you on a journey, each journey different, all of them epic." The tags that I saw were stoner, doom, psych, space, heavy rock, metal, post rock, new romantic, and cold wave. So that you could probably tell by the tags, by what they do with their music, all the different things that they incorporate into their music. They keep moving forward and covering more with each album. They keep moving forward and covering more ground with each album, and their catalog is extremely impressive. They've had 9 releases since 2016. And one of them is a 4-way split that they did with 3 other Polish bands. And one of them was Weedpecker, who we've talked about on the show before. each album that they did is each one is different from the other. They're not just churning out the same album over and over and over again. You know, it seems like they're not afraid to explore new territory and expand their sound and try different things, you know, cross over into different categories. You know, it just seems like with each album they just keep going forward and forward and forward, and they explore new territory and they take us on new journeys with every album that they do.
Yeah, I think at one point a few weeks ago, when I knew that I would, like, when I was looking for bands, when it was my turn to suggest bands, I remember finding some article that talked about good contemporary doom, and then I was reading about Spaceslug, and I was like, oh, this checks off pretty much every box that I think Heather would, that I think Heather enjoys. It's got space rock, psych, stoner, doom. Um, I don't know if it's necessarily so heavy on the shoegaze, but I was like, I realized the journey element of being in space, and this band leading you on a journey, and the fact that they sonically move in different directions. I was like, yes, this is perfect. This will be a
Yeah.
perfect addition. And I'm pretty sure, like, I think they're a well-known enough band that I've crossed paths with them before somewhere during some kind of YouTube mission, just looking for new music. But if you haven't heard Spaceslug, then they are very much everything Heather just mentioned. Stoner rock, psychedelic, space rock, just dynamite riffs. It does lead you on a journey. Like I usually use the analogy of floating through space, like when I'm listening to one of these bands, and that was definitely the case here. So I think I listened to specifically their latest release, which I think just came out. Um, the name of which escapes me, and then I can tell you in 2 seconds. Memorial. So check out Memorial, and then if you want, you can work backward because they do have a bunch of releases. So
Yeah. 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 I have one of their records, and like an idiot, I dropped it on the floor, and now it's got a big scratch on it. and
yeah,
uh,
well, but that happens, you know.
oh man,
I think
yeah,
there's some. I mean, personally, I would rather listen to records and risk damaging them somehow in the transport than just leave them on the shelf to be looked at.
yeah,
So that's
yeah,
the unfortunate price you pay. But
yeah. Thankfully, I can still listen to it, but
yeah, and
it
I'm
just
sure
skips
there's
now.
well, I'm sure there's probably some antiquated way of like using wax or something to remove scratch. I'm sure that there's some person out there that can tell you
Oh
how
gosh,
to
I
how
hope
to like
so. Like,
yeah. I'm
yeah,
sure. I'm sure
if they,
the internet's full of stuff like that.
yeah, yeah. If anyone knows how to get rid of scratches, please let me know. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, this was good. We did Hauch from Germany and Spaceslug from Poland. So we were in
Yeah,
Europe this episode,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, we'll go all around the world in search of dynamite jams.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I hope, just thinking about Hauch, I hope that you do decide to do something with the Haribo Gummy Bear theme song. Just because I personally think it would be fun, but don't,
That
please,
would
you're
be
under
fun.
you're under no obligation. Um, I was just excited if I could recognize, I would be sitting there being like, do I know? Is this? Nope, nope. Yeah, no, all the rudimentary phrases I know that have nothing to do with, like, why would anyone? I don't know why she taught me the windows are dirty. Now that I'm thinking about it, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. Mm, I don't know.
And the other, so last week, and again, I apologize because there's really no tangent leading me to this from what we just talked about. But last week when we talked about deep space destructors, we wondered what is a deep space destructor, and I
Yeah,
had thought the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man could
yeah,
be a. So with a space slug, like, is that just the image of something moving slowly through space? Like, it, is it literal? Like, it's a space, it moves slowly through space like their music does, or is there a space, like, what would a space slug be?
yeah, yeah. It makes me wonder what all is in space that, that of course we have no idea what's out there, but there could be all these things in space, you
Yeah, I
know.
mean, if you're watching this, any of the members of Space Slug, and you want to clue us in on what the name of the band means,
Yeah.
I'd be willing to risk losing out on some of the magic. Like right now, I don't know anything for certain, and there's a certain amount of magic to that. But if you would like to ruin it and tell me what a Space Slug is, then that's fine. I'd be happy to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus it kind of sound, the S, the space and the slug and space slug together, it kind of has the cool sound too.
Yes, the alliteration. As a
Yeah.
former English teacher, I can at least, yes, the alliteration of the S's is pretty
Yeah.
cool. It's also an example of consonants where you have repeating consonant sounds like cash cow, uh, space slug. Um, Whereas assonants would be like angry apple or ollie ostrich. Ollie ostrich. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where that came from either. But
It's
either
probably a
way,
character
this has
it's a
been
character.
grammar and syntax with Professor Andrew and Professor Heather.
And proper driving technique. No.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like this show started just as a way to kind of talk about music, but look how much you're learning proper driving technique. You can recognize parts of a sentence. I mean, tell me another music review show that also does that. That, I mean, that's out there for anyone. There are probably people answering right now yelling at their screen, but it's all good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would be hard pressed to think of another common, like maybe in the multiverse somewhere. Like if you think of infinite universes, there probably has to be a combination. But like another person on Earth who wears a stovepipe hat and talks about the Gummy Bear theme song in German with uh,
Oh.
with a colleague who tells you good driving technique and has detasseled corn. I mean,
Yeah, that I have. Hey, I have detasseled corn. Yes. I was going to say, who's got two thumbs and was a former English teacher?
this guy, or as my mother would say, who is an English teacher and also has two thumbs. Well, either way, today's been a lot of fun talking Space Slug and Hauch. And next week we go back to you taking the reins. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
And we're
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
we're still in the process of putting together compilation number 2. We're in the midst. So keep your
Yeah.
ear to the ground for new updates on that. But
Yes.
uh, but yeah, go out and check out Spaceslug and Hauch, and we will see you again next week.
Okay. Thank you.
Have a good one.
Bye.